Hello everybody. Sorry for the pause. I've been MIA. I've been offline for some time, and I'm back to doing these tarot readings now. So I'm gonna try to get this on a more regular schedule and do at least once a week readings. But I appreciate you if you're coming back to this channel and watching this now, and if you're a subscriber, I really appreciate you guys right now. So I just want to take a moment to do a short reading today for whoever needs to get the messages today. I'm going to do 3 messages, a message you need to hear right now, trying to make this really focused on advice. I have 3 objects here, so if one of these is an object that resonates with you, I recommend that reading, okay? And these are general readings. Just take what resonates. If you are not resonating with the message, if it's not clicking with you, then it's not for you. Okay, so I'll see you at your reading. Feel free to skip to the timestamp below. Hi, pile number 1. This is your message, a message you need to hear right now. Let's see what we have here. 51, your light. Here's a candle in the dark. Hexagram number 3 from the I Ching. Difficulty at the beginning, water above, thunder below. Okay. And then for tarot cards, you received the 7 of Swords. Oh, sorry, let me make sure this is all on the screen. The Queen of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Okay, and we see here on the Queen of Pentacles, we see a Venus figurine, as I believe they're called, and also the wheat, the shafts of wheat, which make me think of Ceres, the goddess of agriculture, right? So definitely seeing here that you want to make something work in a practical matter. There's something really on your mind here. I see with the 7 of Swords, someone playing chess here. Someone is trying to figure out a difficult problem, but they feel like if they can just figure this out, they will succeed and win in a really, incredible way. They will achieve something that they have been working on or focusing on intently for a very long time. We also see this with difficulty at the beginning, and we also see this with light, consciousness, awareness, and the watch, time. So I do think that this is a message for someone who has been really working on a schedule, trying to time something out over a period of multiple seasons or multiple years. So perhaps you've had a long-term plan and you have been working for, I'm getting a number of years, you've been working on this goal, and you have succeeded in a lot of ways in timing the phases of this plan, timing the phases of the goal, and now you're at a point where you're really seeing some results here and you're receiving abundance. The Ace of Pentacles, really great card to receive here. Also with the watch and your light, I feel like you feel like it is your time. You feel like finally something is happening on schedule. Something is turned on, something is being lit, something is being activated at the time that you were hoping for, you were planning for all along. So I have a lot of intention here. I'm sensing a lot of intention, a lot of willpower even. So I feel like the message for you is that there's so much progress and advancement that you can measure right now. What I think your guides want you to be aware of is that your light, this card, what I'm getting from this candle, is that you must not lose track of what your motivation is in this plan and in this cycle of work or cycle of productivity. So I do think that, Seven of Swords traditionally can be about someone being sneaky or shady or deceptive or manipulative, someone even going rogue, someone kind of going against the grain to achieve an outcome, being self-serving in a way. And I do think that the Seven of Swords here is this reminder or a word of caution that sometimes you can kind of trap yourselves. And I don't mean you, I just mean in general. Sometimes we can entrap ourselves in rationales for what we're doing and justifications for what we're doing. For example, let's say you're a person who believes that people should, who believes in fairness, right? Let's say you're a person who believes in fairness, and perhaps there's a situation in this plan that you have or in the work that you're doing, just because you've been doing it so long, you've been invested in it, you're really invested in the results. Perhaps there's something where, you are not going to give a person their fair share. And perhaps you are justifying that. Like perhaps you're even deceiving yourself that that's not what you're doing. But I do think with the Seven of Swords, you need to make sure that you are not acting with that lack of integrity. With the Pentacles here, and also with the Watch, which makes me think of Saturn and the lessons that Saturn gives, the lessons that Mother Earth gives, right? It makes me think that there are definitely consequences to what you're doing, and even if you may not see it in the short term, it will be baked in. It will be there in the long term if you do not act with integrity, if you don't keep up your integrity, maintain your integrity. So I think your light here is showing that your motivation and your integrity, but also the heart, the warmth, the desire that is the why, right? Why did you start this out in the first place? Why did you pursue this goal in the first place? Sometimes you need to check back in with yourself about that. So that is the message I'm seeing. I do feel like whatever you're working on has so much opportunity to advance you professionally or, with your finances. It has a lot of opportunity to give you abundance. With the Queen of Pentacles, we're seeing someone who is very balanced in their connection to abundance. And so I think that as long as you sort of keep going and you keep staying grounded and centered, you're going to do really wonderfully here. So this is just a nice little check-in on your progress. And just a reminder that, if you have to play hardball with some people, let's say, just don't let their influences, don't let them influence you too much where you are now not operating with integrity, if they go low, you go high. It's that kind of mentality, right? So that's it for you, Pile 1. Thank you for joining me today. And if this resonated, please click the like or subscribe button or leave a comment and share, what's going on with you. I would love to hear from you. Okay. Thank you, Pile 1. Take care. Hello, Pile 2. This is your reading. Thank you for joining me today. This is a message you need to hear right now, okay? So I'm going to try to give advice on a current situation. Sometimes you don't need advice. Sometimes you just need affirmation or confirmation, right? So let's see what we have here. You chose this hand figurine. So we'll see. We have alchemy. Wow, beautiful. We do have a hands actually in this illustration, receiving and giving. I feel like there's, the rainbow and the stars are showing a magical process here. And of course, alchemy relates to magic. So that's a very positive beginning. We also have organized discipline from the I Ching, hexagram 7, and 2 wanted to come out. So let's see what the other one is. Conflict, hexagram 6. Okay, earth above, water below for hexagram 7, sky above, water below. So from earth to sky, we're seeing a change there. Sorry, I keep pushing this off screen. Now we have tarot cards. Judgment, wow. You see this? Let me do this here. Great. Queen of Swords, okay. And Strength, wow. We also have, I did pull an oracle card from this deck, the Modern Nirvana Oracle, Mask, interesting. Okay, pile 2. You chose this hand figurine, so I feel like there's something to do with boundaries here. I feel like there's something here that you want to stop, like talk to the hand. And I feel like it's because you have an awareness, your intuition is telling you that there's an important transformation you're undergoing, and you have to tune into it. You have to really put your focus on this transformation in order for it to be successful. And so I feel like you're trying to block out distractions or block out the forces in your life, the situations that are draining you. We see organized discipline and conflict, so we see that there is progress that's been slow. I feel like it's been a bit painstaking, slow progress for you. But with conflict, I am actually getting a sense that something has come to a head and that there will be a big shift here soon, very soon, that will really put you on the other side of this situation entirely. So if we look at judgment, right, I mean, we see the time, a sense of time here. We see a clock. It looks even like a timer, right, a stopwatch. So something is inevitable. It's inevitable that this judgment, this situation is going to be released, and that something will be revealed or revived. With the Queen of Swords and the Strength and the Mask, I think this is related to your true intentions, your true motivations, your will to succeed, your ambition. So if what I've said so far is resonating, I think there's something just around the corner, or perhaps it's happening right now, that is really bringing things to a head. And I feel like you've chosen this reading also because there's a little bit of hesitation on your part. You're a little bit of like, whoa, slow down, the hands being like, stop, like slow down, or I need a minute. And I understand that reaction because it can be scary when a process is like well on its way and you kind of feel like it's out of your control. I understand that. Queen of Swords, also Strength. I'm getting a strong sense of someone who wants to be in control. The Mask as well. Someone who is a little bit afraid of being vulnerable here and revealing their true intentions, revealing their desires. They want to hide behind a mask, right? So I do think that there's advice here that is really, encouragement and just fearlessness. Like you have nothing to fear. What you are going through. I mean, look at this butterfly. Look at this sunflower hiding behind, butterfly, sunflower, and heart, right? Sword and crown. So you are rising. You are on a path to rising towards your deserved position. And I think maybe you feel some hesitation there because you know that as you increase as your position in life increases, you will have more responsibilities, or you will have just more kind of complexity. I don't think you should fear that complexity. I don't think you should fear what happens next. I think you should just really tune into the moment, tune into what this transformation is offering you. With alchemy, right, in this card, again, we see the hands both receiving and giving. That's how I'm interpreting these hands. Someone is receiving magical, divine strength and inspiration, and then they're able to pour out. So you are being encouraged to really see yourself as much more dynamic and much more layered and complex than you've seen yourself in the past. I think that you have given yourself some labels here, and the labels themselves are up for, you know, can be scrutinized and can be up for discussion, up for debate. You can consider, are these labels useful for you at this moment? I want to pull more cards because I feel like there is something really big going on here, and I can't quite get any details on it. The Princess of Pentacles. I think this is career related. I think you feel maybe a bit of imposter syndrome, like you feel like you're still a beginner, but you're being given, wow, you see that? The King of Pentacles, yeah. So like, I think that you're kind of being guided or mentored maybe, and you're being led along by someone who is more experienced than you, and maybe you feel like you're not ready to go down that path of mentoring. You're not ready to learn, to go through this education or this training, this grooming, right? Someone or something is grooming you for success, and I think you might be a little bit overwhelmed by the whole idea of it, but I think you should be really encouraged. You see yourself as a Page of Pentacles, but you're not a Page of Pentacles. You're not a beginner. You may see yourself as a beginner, but I think that's a certain humility that is, you know, maybe not serving you all the time. Sometimes you just need to put those feelings of inadequacy aside and see yourself, you know, with really more realistic lenses, right? If you were not yourself, but if you were a different person and you had, let's say, your resume, right? Let's say you came across your own resume and you're looking at this resume and you're thinking to yourself like, all right, this is amazing. This person is experienced. They have all this skill levels or whatever. See how you would see yourself differently. It's the fact that you are wary or you're just hesitant to embrace this transformation that is making you feel inadequate. But there's no need to feel inadequate. I think that that is a strong message here. Can I get any other advice here, please, for pile 2? Wow, the Queen of Wands and the Four of Wands. So a lot of excitement, big achievement, and big celebration here. I think you really need to just have some fun right now and plan something that's going to help you. Plan a celebration, something to really celebrate this promotion or this opportunity, and, you know, not just be all work and no play, but really get some more play in your life. With the Queen of Wands, you have the potential to, you know, let your hair down here, and you're encouraged to do that. And maybe you even have a friend who is kind of encouraging you to do that. And you should really, like, I think this is encouragement that you should take advice of that friend. Four of Wands, there's a community around you. There's a support system here. And you're encouraged by your guides here to, you know, to appreciate that and to not take it for granted, you know. So pile number 2, I hope this resonates with you. Good luck with what's going on in your journey here. Good luck with this transformation. It's really wonderful. It's going to be really amazing. And, you know, I think there's nothing to fear here, okay? Take care, pile 2. Hello, pile 3. This is your reading. What is the message you need to hear now? I have an intention to look for advice for you in this situation you're dealing with right now. So what do we have for you, pile 3? Interesting. The gallery of those who came before. So I was getting a sense with this espresso cup that this is going to be an emotional issue. There's something here about nostalgia and reminiscing and memory. It's also interesting that this is a caterpillar, and these are photos or framed memories of butterflies. So this is about a process of transformation that you're familiar with, that you've gone through before. The gallery of those who came before. So actually, others who've gone through the process of transformation or success that are inspiring you. Okay, we have the 8 of Swords. We have the Devil. And we have the Three of Swords. Okay. Definitely an emotional issue here. We have repairing the damage for the I Ching hexagram. And we have emptiness. Okay, so I am getting of, you know, definitely whatever you're going through, it's very difficult. It's very emotional. It could be a relationship, it could be a separation, or a relationship that is going through hard times right now. And I think that I wonder if you're thinking about people in your family, the people who raised you, or the people that you grew up around, and you're looking back on those formative years and you're wondering, you know, what did they have to go through? What did they have to survive? Can I take a lesson from, you know, my forebears, my family, my ancestors, those who came before? I'm also getting something here, which is more of an intellectual idea, not really my intuition, but I feel like you might even be haunted by the idea of your partner's past lovers. Like maybe you even saw them on social media, like you saw photos, and it's bothering you. So that's a very specific message there. Repairing the damage and emptiness. So pile 3, I just want to say, first of all, like, I sympathize. It's always difficult to go through relationship issues. The people that, you know, we are attached to and we feel very bonded to, that can be a very difficult thing to navigate when, you know, the relationship is being tested or challenged or doubted. So first of all, just remember to be kind to yourself, to be compassionate, and not, you know, not be too hard on yourself. Everyone goes through these types of difficulties, these struggles. You know, love is not easy. So I just want to, first of all, say that you may need to hear that. I need to pull some more cards here. Repairing the damage. What is the advice for pile 3? 2 of Cups. Okay, so yes, this is a relationship message. If you're not in a relationship, I'm sorry, this message is not for you. Or if you're not, you know, caught up in some kind of interpersonal issue here, this is not the message for you. This is definitely for someone in a relationship or in a partnership of some kind. The Hermit, yeah, so definitely thinking about a breakup or a separation. Perhaps you are now separated and you are experiencing, you know, the loneliness, alone time, but I think it's important for you. Yes, the Hanged Person, wow. So this is definitely a pause or a separation that is difficult right now for you. It's difficult because I think the person who would normally be there to reassure you is no longer there. However, I would just want you to know that this separation is needed. This pause or this time of isolation. Sorry, that was my alarm clock. I'm so sorry. I try to time myself now because I don't want to take too long on readings, and, you know, I'm trying to practice getting straight to the point. So, pile 3, the message here is that you are going through a time of isolation and loneliness, yes, but your guides want you to know that there is something really important here that you can draw towards, that you can move towards, you know, this type of inner strength, this type of inner illumination. And it's only possible when you are separated from the context or the scenario that is triggering you. It could be a person, it could be a relationship, but not necessarily. It could be a situation, an environment that has been triggering you and that has made you, you know, really harmed or hurt. You know, I'm seeing an emotional injury here. So it's important that you have this alone time, but know that you're not completely alone. You are it is when we're alone that we're able to really access our spirit guides and, you know, our inner wisdom. And so I think that this cup needs to be emptied, you know, in order to kind of revive yourself and fill yourself spiritually with something that is essentially true for you, something that is actually true for you, not something that is false, not something that is compulsive or addictive. You need to empty yourself before you can fill your cup with what is truly going to be healing and what is truly going to repair the damage here. So emptiness is actually the advice, you know, emptiness, not trying to grasp, not trying to hold on to something, but just surrender and let go. And if you have to let go of a relationship or a person or an expectation or a fantasy, let go of it. You see the gallery of those who came before. What you are imagining as the before times needs to be let go of, I think. And, you know, it's best not to project too much into the past and too much into the future, but to just stay in the moment. The Hermit is, the Hermit and the Hangman together really show a lot of spiritual wisdom and enlightenment and enrichment. But again, it takes letting go, it takes surrender, it takes the willingness to suspend your own preconceived notions, and it takes the humility of seeking out, you know, a greater or a deeper illumination. It means that you have to search for that truth. You know, you're not going to just receive it. It's not going to fall into your lap. You really have to search for it on your own and not rely on someone else to figure that out for you. So pile 3, that is your message. I hope this resonates and I hope this is helpful. And, you know, my heart goes out to you. I can see that there is distress here, but, you know, everything, even pain, is temporary. So use this difficult moment to go deeper into your fears, your problems, face those issues with that kind of brave honesty. And I think that you'll really come across something more helpful than you ever imagined and more beautiful than you ever imagined, okay? Thank you, Pile 3, for joining today, and take care.